imagine the school bus just pulled up. It's 4 p.m. The wheels haven't even stopped moving on the bus, and you're already anticipating what might happen when you guys get inside the house. All the while, your mind is cycling through your to do list: laundry, dinner prep, that overdue email, clean the kitchen. And now, as you look at your child's face as they're getting off the bus, you see the furrowed brow, the tightness in their body, clenched fists. So suddenly, that to do list, that's going to the back burner. And now you have a dysregulated child that you need to deal with and figure out how you're going to survive this meltdown. So if you're feeling like this, know that it's not, you're not feeling. It's a capacity overload. Your capacity is just overloaded. Okay. So welcome to the capacity audit. I'm Kara, certified ADHD coach, licensed intervention specialist, and neurodivergent mom to twins with complex needs. Today we're going to be talking about not parenting harder, but we're looking at technical systems behind parental capacity. So when we have situations like this, it's not a moral failure, it's a technical one. We have to stop viewing the meltdown, whether it's yours or your child's, as a character flaw and start seeing it as a capacity crisis in a system that was never designed to handle the demands of a complex needs household. In technical terms, you're having an executive function bottleneck in your own system or your parental capacity. Your brain is the main control panel, and it can only process so much information, so many demands, and so many urgent tasks before it hits a critical limit. So I want you to start thinking about it as a household circuit breaker. So every demand is a device drawing power. So we have sensory demands. So that can be like loud noises, like dinner prep, a sticky residue on the counter, friction of an uncomfortable tag, lights that are too bright. We have scheduled demands. These are like having to go get your kid off the bus every day. The need for a jump from work to parent mode without a transition, the lack of buffer time. And then we have emotional demands. So it's managing your child's intense feelings while also managing your own intense feelings. And having to hold the mental load of their complex needs. So when you have too many devices on a single circuit, what happens? The breaker flips. The power is interrupted. Your system goes into a total non-negotiable shutdown, a panic, a freeze, or an explosive reaction. The circuit breaker isn't broken. It's doing its job by interrupting the power flow to prevent a total electrical fire. So your dysregulated action is your system's emergency brake. It's telling you that the capacity has been overloaded and an intervention is needed to reset the breaker and lower the immediate draw of power. So in my 11 years as a licensed intervention specialist, I've come to realize that sustainable systems for families like ours require a bridge. And that's built on 3 specific things. So first is technical systems. You have to stop guessing and start looking at the data. What's the actual trigger? Is it a transition? A sensory leak? And then we build routines that protect your energy instead of draining it. We have specialized advocacy. The school environment is half the battle. If the IEP isn't technically sound, your child is coming home spent, and you're the one paying the price. And then we have parental capacity. You cannot regulate a child from a place of survival. We have to prioritize your nervous system as a technical requirement, not a luxury. So we're moving from viewing this as a crisis to viewing it as a structural gap. We need to shift our perspective on parental stress fundamentally. So instead of reacting to the current challenges, the missed appointments, the shouting matches, the feeling of constantly playing catch up, as isolated temporary events or a passing crisis that simply needs to be endured, we got to reevaluate that. The true issue is not a sudden unpredictable emergency, but rather a deep-seated structural gap in the family's capacity. This structural gap tells us that your current routines, support systems, and energy reserves are designed in an inefficient way to handle the actual baseline volume of your parental load. The combination of sensory, emotional, physical, and logistical demands placed on you. So recognizing this allows us to move away from quick fix reactive measures and towards sustainable long-term systemic solutions, transforming the conversation from one about blame or personal failure to one about architectural integrity and designing your family's life for true capacity. So how do we start to bridge the gap? We start with a capacity audit. What are the household demands that you're dealing with right now? So we can look at our sensory first. Are the lights too bright? Is the TV in the background too loud? How's your temperature? Are you hungry? Tired? Those are some places to start. So while you're evaluating these inputs, see if there's any of them that you can lower, such as turning down the lights, grabbing a granola bar, or turning down the TV. Next, we want to look at your schedule. Is your schedule completely overloaded? Does your list have a list? Start thinking about anything that you can move down on your list. What are things that absolutely have to be done? And then, last but not least, the emotional. Are you having a bunch of racing thoughts? Are you feeling just overwhelmed? Are you feeling like a failure? Are you feeling pressure to complete all of your tasks? After we've done that, then we'll move on to figure out what adjustments we can make to help bring yourself back to baseline. The goal is to identify changes you can implement right away without creating more work for yourself. So when we look at our sensory system, depending on what's increasing your sensory load, there's small, easy adjustments you can make. Think about adjusting the temperature, having a cold glass of water, taking off a layer of clothing if you can, putting on noise-canceling headphones, or dimming the lights. An easy one is grabbing a quick snack like a granola bar or trail mix. Look at your schedule. Does everything on your to-do list really have to be done today? Take a moment to identify the top 3 most critical items. If any of the other tasks can genuinely wait until tomorrow, go ahead and move them down on the list. And when we talk about emotion, what's currently causing the most emotional strain? If you're feeling overwhelmed by guilt or pressured to complete every single task, give yourself a powerful reminder. You're just one person, and there are only 24 hours in a day. So you made it through this time. Now the big question is, how can we prevent this from happening again, or at least minimize the load? To bring that load down, you can start with a few simple tweaks that will make a major difference for you and your household. When we're looking at sensory, if you're able to pinpoint something that is increasing sensory load for you or your child, try to decrease that load before it spirals into overload. For instance, if you know that too many competing sounds are a trigger, carry a pair of noise-canceling headphones with you, and that could be a huge help. When the noise starts to overwhelm your system, you can just slip them on and bring the noise level back down. The same idea applies to hunger. If you tend to get hangry, keep easy to eat snacks handy. Think like granola bars, single packs of crackers, cheese sticks, snack packs of nuts, or beef jerky. If you feel that hunger creeping up and don't have time to make a meal, grab one of those snacks. If you can make it a snack with some protein, even better. because the protein will give you lasting energy and it'll help you feel full longer. Think about your schedule. Just moving things down on your list or pushing them off until tomorrow is only a temporary fix. For a long-term solution, you need to honestly look at your commitments. Is there anything on your list that you can delegate to someone else? Sometimes we take on things because we feel like if we don't do it, it won't get done. And even if you can't hand off any of the tasks, there might be ways to streamline them. Take grocery shopping, for example. That's often a massive task to complete. So consider a delivery service. Yeah, there's a fee, but there's a real cost associated with the time and effort that you spend doing the shopping yourself. And delivery isn't the only time-saving option. There's also grocery pickup. Someone in the store will shop all the groceries for you. And many pickup services, you don't pay an extra fee like with delivery, and you don't have to tip a driver. So you're essentially paying the same price as if you had gone into the store and done all the shopping yourself, and saving yourself some time. When it comes to emotional load, this can feel like one of the heaviest burdens we carry as parents. We're usually much harder on ourselves than anyone else could ever be, and the amount of pressure we put on ourselves is truly unmatched. You absolutely have to learn to give yourself permission to stop just powering through. You need to grant yourself grace and rethink your reality. And once you accept that a typical household setup wasn't designed to meet the demands of a complex needs household, it will automatically lower some of that emotional pressure. So this is the point in the podcast where we would typically do the listener question and answer. So this is where I would address your burning questions directly. I want to hear from you guys. So please send in your questions. This would be an opportunity for you to ask me anything related to the core themes of this podcast. Building, fine-tuning, and maintaining efficient systems in your life. Don't hold back. Okay? So you could ask about home and household systems. You ask me about specific actionable ways to fine-tune the systems in your home, from optimizing your morning routine and managing household chores to creating better budgeting and organization structures. If you're overwhelmed by clutter, inefficient processes, or lack of flow in your daily home life, I want to hear about it. You can also ask about parenting and education. You can ask me about a problem you're currently having with your child's education, scheduling, or development. This could involve navigating a challenging school system, implementing effective homework strategies, structuring extracurricular activities, or managing the overall cognitive load of modern parenting. Then parental capacity and overload. If the topic of the capacity resonated with you, ask me specific questions about identifying your own system overload points, setting healthier boundaries, delegating tasks, or figuring out why your current systems are breaking down. Send your questions to us via email or our dedicated voicemail line. There's details in the show notes. And I look forward to tackling your challenges and providing system-based solutions in the upcoming episodes. So your 1% win for this week is to identify one thing that you can do to lower the load on your circuit breaker. Don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be anything major. It could be as simple as deciding to have a snack every day at 3:30 because you normally get hangry in the afternoon. Right? So let's lower the noise and build the bridge. It's impossible to give your best when you are depleted. It is perfectly acceptable to decline requests, and remember that rest is necessary activity, not a sign of laziness. Okay. So download the capacity audit checklist and prioritize to-do list template in the show notes, and try creating a prioritized to-do list one day this week. If you think you're ready to start bridging the gap and creating more sustainable systems in your household, be one of the first 5 in my 6-week pilot program from survival to sustainability. There's a link in the show notes. I'm Kira, and let's keep quieting the noise.